everybody, it's Peggy. You may remember that Paige and I came on the 1st of January to tell you about a special challenge that we designed for each other. And what we are doing, or did, was we took a 36 sheet paper pad. And this is the one that I used, a Bow Bunny Petal Lane collection. And we were to see how many cards we could make out of the whole thing. So, I'm here to share with you the cards that I made. And before I get started, out of 36 sheets of paper, this is what I got left over. Just a few little scraps. So I think I did very well using up all my paper here. So some of these are quite simple. Some have a little bit more to them. I pretty much use the same sentiment in them all. It just seemed to be an easy thing to do. I put thinking of you, and if you wanted, you could put happy birthday in there, or you could add whatever you wanted to that. So this is the first card that I made. I won't go into a lot of detail because we're going to be here for a month and a half if I do. But anyway, and then just kept the inside blank. So that is number one. I tried to make all the cards different. Number two, it's got a little flower on it there, tied on with some twine. And three, little fairy. I can't get the thing open here. Yeah. This is one that's a little different on the inside, believe in magic, to go along with the fairy. This is the one sheet of paper in the pad that I really didn't care for. So this is one of the ones that I did with it. And I cut this out again and popped it up. And just put some perfect pearls around there. And just a note on that one. I did use a few sheets, like this teal color, that were out of another paper pad. But everything else is from the Bow Bunny stack. And I embossed the background, and then it's a die cut. And then I die cut it again, just take the one butterfly to add to the inside here. And the only other little cheat that I did was these card bases were already made. I had goofed up and bought a package of envelopes, and I didn't realize the cards came with them. I thought I was just buying envelopes, so I thought, well, this would be a good spot to use all these up. And that's some more of that's the DCWV. It's textured paper. It's really nice. But the major components of the card is made from the Bow Bunny paper. And some flowers that I made using a Heartfelt Creations die. And then a couple of cutouts on this. And this is a Z fold. Where are we here? There we go. So I colored up that flower, and then I put glossy accents on it. Sort of makes a nice embellishment if you do that. And then a gorgeous girl. I embossed the background with a heart embossing folder because she got a little heart on her book there that she's holding. And then double cut that out so that the black would show through. And that's one of the little bows that Nola had given me at Christmas time, so got to use that. And then that flowered part that I cut out there, I just put on the inside here. Number 9, and then this is number 10. Pretty card. I just built that up to make an embellishment. A couple of ovals and a couple enamel dots there. And that's a Spellbinder's die here that I used on the edge. So I'll move those out of the way so they don't fall all over the place. The next 10 don't fall on the floor. This one I added a bit of lace in behind. It needed something in there, so I did that. This die I cut out in the paper and also in the black foam just to pop it up some, and some of the pink paper underneath there. And then that's a rose that I had colored up. I heat embossed it and then colored it, and then the inside. And the oval is the oval that I cut out of the center of that. And I was starting to get quite a few scraps at the time, so I thought I'd put some together to make this. Again, this is that one sheet in the stack that I really didn't care for, so once I got it cut up, excuse me, like that, I didn't mind it so much. And then I got a resin piece in the middle. And then the inside's just some more of that paper that was left over. And number 13, I had just gotten that die, so I had to play with it. Quite simple. And then on the inside there I got the little fox peeking around the corner, thinking of you. Colored him up with my zig markers. And gotta figure out which way this goes first here. Come on and open. Okay. Yeah, that way, that way. Alright, I forgot what I've done here. So, I've used this die. The pink part is actually the biggest die, but I wanted the black border. So what I did was I put the die down and then traced on the outside of it and then hand cut it out of the black there so I could get a bit of a border. And then that lattice is another die, and then I've added some pearls on here. And heat embossed the part of the embellishment there just to give it a little bit more shine to it. And then just thinking of you with a fancy oval around it. And then we kind of went a little different. Again, that's some of the DCWV plain cardstock. It's textured. I'm in hog heaven when I'm around you, or when you're around. So I put the little pig there, and I put a bow on his tail, or her tail, and glossy accents. And then you open it up and the pig's looking at you, and it says squeal on that side. So that was a fun one to make. And then this is another Z fold. Oop. That opens up like that. And some flowers that I cut out, various pieces of scrap there. And like I say, I used Thinking of You on pretty well all of them. I really like that paper. I think that's really pretty. The gray and pink together. And then this is a gatefold card. And got out my rhinestone mesh and cut out a frame for the front here. And it opens up. Again, Thinking of You. And I had made one of these cards with a heart for Valentine's cards, and so I thought, well, I could do that with a butterfly, so I did that and put another little butterfly in the butterfly. I think that's a real cute card. I like that. And then on the inside, just, you'll never guess what I put in there. Thinking of You. But I like the little flap there. And this is number 19, I guess. And to my best friend. And it's a fairly new stamp I got, so I colored her up. Again, that's that paper that I really didn't care for, but it didn't, you can't really notice it too much here. Colored her up with my zigs, and she's popped up on some foam tape. And then on the inside, I left it blank. And number 20 is some more heartfelt flowers, fancy die border, several pieces of the paper from the pad there. That's another sheet that I really liked, was that flowered one, this one. So that's number 20. And go over there and do not fall. Okay, number 21. I've had this die for a while and haven't had a chance to use it. Kind of a plain, simple card, but I thought it was pretty. I put some stickles, of course, on it to get some little bit of shine. I don't know whether that's going to pick it up at all or not, but, and then just very plain. And number 22. This is another die that I haven't had a chance to use, so I cut the butterflies out in some pink paper, and that was in the stack, and then some black foam. And I didn't push the bits out, I left those in so that the background was black behind the butterflies. And then I put a piece of foam behind the sentiment here, and I've got some sequins on here too. I don't know whether those will show up or not. And then the inside just has a piece of the paper that was left over. And 23, another stamp that I hadn't used until now, so colored her up and just stacked up excuse me, several layers here of the paper. Cut that out with another die that I haven't used, I think once or twice before, so I really like the lattice in behind it there. Got 3 little enamel dots down in the corner. She's got some stickles on her there for her flowers. And just, inside quite simple. And number 24, another die that I haven't used very much, so I double cut it, once in the pattern paper and then once in black to go underneath it, and then some of the paper underneath there. Another one of my favorite from the pad. And last but not least, number 25. I was just down to scraps at this time, so that's what I did. I just put a bunch of scraps on together, and I still hadn't put the mesh rhinestone trim away, so I cut out some pieces to add to the front, and just another little piece that was left over. So I got 25 cards out of 36 pieces of pattern paper, and probably used about 4 or 5 pieces of the plain cardstock for accent pieces. So those are my cards. I will leave a link in the description box below so you can go over and see all the cards that Paige made from her paper stack. And we may do this again. I'm going to suggest that we only do 24 sheets of paper. 36, I was starting to get pretty tired of of all this, so I was glad to see the tail end of it. But it was fun to do. I got it done a lot sooner than I thought I would. I thought it would take me the whole month to do it. Actually, it only took me 14 days to make 25 cards, which is really speedy for me, because it can take me 3 or 4 days to make one card. So alrighty, have any questions about anything, give me a holler, and thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it. Okay, take care now. Bye.